Okay, so the first project 1, is the midpoint between 2 points. So basically, the project starts off with an x1, a y1, x2, and a y2. Okay, so the example that I have here is 2, 1, 6, -5, 2 points. So the midpoint is going to be in between these 2 points. And there's a couple of ways to go about it. Some students would kind of think midpoint, like what's in the middle of 2 and 6. They might do something like 6 minus 2 is 4, which is this horizontal distance. And then divide that by 2, which is 2, which is half of that distance. And then they could either add to the x coordinate, the first x coordinate, or subtract from the second x coordinate to get 4. Okay, so the x coordinate of the midpoint is 4. And then basically do the same thing for the y. When you subtract 1 minus -5, you would get 6. Okay, and then half of that would be 3, and then either subtract 2 minus 3, or excuse me, 1 minus 3, or you could go -5 plus 3 and get that y is -2. Okay. Probably the more efficient way is to realize that the midpoint is simply the average for the x and the average of the y. So if you take 2 plus 6 and divide by 2, and you take 1 plus 5 or plus -5 and divide by 2, anytime the average between two numbers is in the middle of those two numbers. So that is for -1 minus 5, -4 divided by 2 is -2. So that matches up with the first explanation there. So then the code that you would kind of go through, you got to do it in terms of x1 and y1 and x2 and y2, not numbers. So your x coordinate for your midpoint is going to be x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and your y coordinate is going to be y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And that should show you the midpoint between those 2 points.